Screw your Galio. We're picking AD mid jungle. And that's exactly what Tangyuan. You know what? I like the gumption behind that logic. Because you're throwing out logic.
Yeah, you know, I can't be
this entire time. And they're just going to walk it in. 1xN should have to flash, but the flash immediately comes from YCX. So they get the fear over. He gets under the turret. Remember, he took teleport. No defensive summoner. And Heng is going to pick up a pre-level 6. Well, he's going to push out the mid wave now. This Dragon, though, already down about half HP. LG have to make up their mind if they're going to give or go. And we are slamming the big green button. Here comes Croco on. The lights get turned out. They're going to go after Heng, but he gets fully forced out of the pin. Now, Shaoye is left in a 1v1 with Croco. Bulldog should be fine off to the top side of this fight. LGD are just way too split apart here. Heng is one way. YCX is the other. Shaoye is out of the fight. This TP feels like it's a bit too late. They're going to go after Croco nonetheless. 1xN going to hold on to those chains of corruption. Croco going to have to flash to get himself out, but LNG, they just a bit shocked that we're going to reach about 14 minutes, so we've seen one Paranoia and one Grand Starfall, but I think LNG are a bit content with it, like you talked about, just playing for these Dragon timers. LGD rock up to the party. TP advantage is over on the LNG side for now, as Sheer joins with a huge shield, and that TP alone is going to get LNG the second game in a row.
over a lot of these objectives. There's no way for LGD to fight this out.
Oh, here comes Missing.
YCX could be in trouble.
Yep, there's the Grand entrance knockup. Flash from YCX Missing is not going to follow with his ultimate either. They're going to just let YCX walk out without flash and without ult. I felt like there's definitely an angle to further
to pick the pace of the game up, and it's exactly what we've got. Got a lot of action going down now on the map. Portal combat happening a little bit in the river here. Heng is making his way. They're looking for this play.
All right, what are we going to... These jungle ultimates. I'm waiting for them to come back out here. There is the support ultimate on YCX. He doesn't have Unbreakable Will, but Tangyuan's going to find the Fate Unsealed onto 1xN, and he will go down. Missing gets flashed on by Heng. Croco does get a good stun. Missing's living for a while with the Equalizer. Will help pick up the kill. Hero's entrance just to get Bulldog out of dodge. When he finds himself flanked, as all of LGD are going to look to collapse here. Croco flashes over the fat wall to survive, but Bulldog still ends up getting cut down. It's LGD that make the 5-man collapse to break open this.
Oh, but Bulldog is not so lucky. LGD a comp that scales, but Sasa's caught.
Yeah, that's what we call anticlimactic for the LGD fans. Maybe just everyone's breaking out fights here. Missing is about 10% HP as Tangyuan looks to continue to push this lead as such a menace on the side lane. I expect that Sheer is going to have to lane into Tangyuan most of the time going forward now in this game. Okay. Fate Unsealed. He's trying to create distance here. Sheer, good buffer with the Unstoppable. I mean, Y6 is still here. Sheer's going to go out, pull Y6 under the turret, but he has Unbreakable Will. He can take up hella turret shots. And Tangyuan is going to pick up himself another pretty critical kill as the Rift Herald also going in LGD's favor.
Incredibly well played from LGD to be able to pick up yet another kill. We get to see how this happened. It just looks like he's a little bit too far forward. Sasa in the lane, and then, of course, gets punished by the Grand Starfall coming in from Croco. At least they're staying proactive on the map with these plays. Speaking of...
Yep, they're going right after Croco. The Chains of Corruption holding people in place for now, but Croco will still end up falling with no vision. One is actually taking it upon himself to just do the Dragon on his own. Croco has no vision. He can't get into the pit. Tangyuan continuing this creative Yone play, and he's looking for a Fate Sealed. He gets one to flash away from the charm, does land. Can he get back out before the damage comes across? Yes, but here comes the big hero's entrance. Bulldog gets knocked on his Shaoye. Lights go out. They're going after 1xN. He is as good as done. Sasa gonna find that kill. YCX gets himself out of dodge as well. And LNG, they've got no range, and they've got no way to get on top of any of these targets. LGD scatter in all directions and cut down the fight. Grand Starfall is Croco trying to flank out into Shaoye, but they have to commit 2 flashes to find this one shutdown. Still, an overarching win for LGD.
It's a huge fight for LGD.
Play out the game from this state. I am shocked to see our
picks that you want to look for if you're LNG. You want to try and get to that side lane with those ultimates. See if they can utilize them here.
Level 15, he just doesn't fear anybody as the lights do go out. Good charm comes out from Missing. 1xN's protected for now. He does land the Chains of Corruption, but they're going to lose Croco as the Unbreakable Shield does come down. There's the Fate Unsealed under the turret. Tangyuan get himself right back out with the Soul Form, and they take the pick onto Croco. And LGD smartly just get out.
No Dragon, this should be, or with no jungler, this should be relatively easy. She's gonna try.
LNG, they're gonna work their way in. There's the hero's entrance. Tangyuan wants to go after him. Flashes after 1xN. Missing do a good job to cover with the Equalizer on top of the damage. Now this Yone is enough to get rid of the only damage source left in LNG. Sheer's gonna pull Tangyuan out of the pit with an all-out. Should find them trade. But the Baron will be locked down from Heng. The smite to secure it. LNG scattered into the wind, and they found themselves in the exact same spot as this matchup held them in the first time round. We are set ourselves up for a game 3 once again. We'll come around and smite it to even out that Drake count. So LNG for now at least holding somewhat strong. This isn't a very powerful Baron power play through the first about third of it.
Yeah, it's certainly not the one that you would sit back and go, okay, they broke the game open with this, but
LGD are just not budging.
well, that's the thing. I mean, if you want to give some sort of silver lining, never mind. Here we go.
Okay, we're going after Croco. I mean, you don't have enough damage to handle him on your own. Even with all these items, he's getting some serious autos down, but there comes the stack grab onto him. Flash for the all-out from Sheer. The style points are there. Shutdown was going to come nonetheless, and that is something. You trade a shutdown for a tier 2 turret. Small win for LNG.
No way to check this, and it's going to burn down incredibly fast. You can force this 5v5 for free.
All right, LGD, smart approach here. They're going to look for the death rush. Went on to Sheer, but Tangyuan gets Bulldog. Good time to go into the stasis here. You see if he can flash away. Gets the taunt down. That is a lot of Tangyuan's juice taken out of the smoothie. Doesn't have that big ults. Fate Unsealed and the spell form going to come off the board. And, well, that one little peruse out of the fight from Bulldog does get LGD off the Baron for now.
Well played by Bulldog to be able to dissuade. Here we go. Shaoye.
After Shaoye. No, instead it was going to Saso. The hero's entrance. They can't get the knock-up, though. Saso's going to flash back under his turret. Missing does go under that said turret as the lights do go out. But Heng doesn't really have a way to ult in. He's going to finally go in. The spell shooting away from the taunt. Equalizer is going to whiff. Shaoye has to flash away from Sheer, but now he just gets collapsed on by all of LGD. And yeah, he is not that tanky. So there's the pick down for LGD. And now they can make their dance routine return. Methodical approach out of LGD again, showing some really good signs. Oh, 1xN had a shot at the classic Gumayushi, but now he will be punished for it. He gets stunned up on top of the equalizer, and then Heng delayed paranoia ults on top of him. And with 1xN down, LNG really can't afford to.
LNG are not put in this position often where they are down in gold and losing in the late game. They are not reacting well, and LGD, to their credit, have been excellent in the late game here at pulling the trigger. See if they can do so here on the final push.
Got Tangyuan off to the side, gets the pick on a Missing. Fate Unsealed. Good knockups come across, though. Missing does get himself out. Croco and Bulldog are fine. Tangyuan does have to flash away from where he returns to his soul. Sheer nearby, but at least Tangyuan has grabbed all of LNG's attention to allow for the mid inhibitor to get knocked down on its own. On the top side, Sheer still can't hold the tier 2 turret that they had to surrender nonetheless. There's the bot lane tier 3 down, and the tier 2 to follow.
Yeah, they're just kind of desynced right now on the map, as potentially YCX could be getting caught. Does have to burn quite a bit. Does, yeah, you're absolutely right. Does still have the ultimate. He's getting very low, though. Definitely pushing the pace there. That's where Poke Varus can actually come in pretty clutch. It dissuades the entire game-ending push. A lot of damage coming down from that Varus. You just got to be able to keep him safe. They might have survived this Baron, the second of 2 that we've had so far, but Soul...
And wait for that Chemtech Soul. So we are still kind of locked into this state unless Heng wants to go for another play here onto Croco. This is what got him caught the last time. This time he doesn't have a GA, but runs into a taunt, runs into a knockup, another stun. Where's the damage, LNG? Any other game, any other draft, that should be a dead Nocturne, but it's just not in this world.
I mean, it's astounding. I have not seen Nocturne dive into 4 people and barely take half his health before. It's truly incredible how far behind LNG are with just the lack of damage this comp inherently has, and of course the situation that their gold is in. Look at the difference in items right now. Look at Bulldog's inventory versus Tangyuan's inventory. That's a 5,000 gold difference in the mid lane. It's just really hard to push things forward. That death cap is, you know, much needed for Bulldog, but it's definitely looking a little too late. So we see the Yone continuing to push onto the top side. This is just going to be a continuous push. We'll see if they want to go for Soul in 45 seconds or if they want to play these side lanes to potentially end the game. Looks like they do want to try and play for the objective, but either way, they're likely going to have full control.
Croco, there's no world you think you can get this. I mean, all right, Missing's here, Bulldog's here, but I mean, this is not your jungle anymore. And yeah, Sasa and YCX will back him out. He smites to secure the red buff. Lights are going to go out. They're going to go after Croco again. Good knockup from YCX. He's going to hold the Unbreakable. YCX is making sure the Bulldog can't rejoin. Missing has himself a lovely flank if it weren't for the fact that his team is dying on the front line. He's desperately trying to walk back. 1xN's going to hit the field goal on the Chains of Corruption, so nobody gets stalls out. Bulldog going to try and Hero's Entrance out, but instead he's stun locked in place. And LGD might not need that Chemtech soul. They're just going to corral the straggling LNG members and point them towards their crumbling base to polish off one of their most dominating wins of the split, to once again claim a victory over LNG, the only team to do so far in Group Nirvana. The question remaining will be, can they do it again to hand LNG their only series loss of the year? Have to find out in that Game 3. But for now, it's just the formalities of knocking down the base if you are LGD. Turrets go down, lights go out, Nexus is out, and we've got ourselves a full slate series for Group Nirvana action.
Okay, so